So that is the art submissions that we have, and now to take a bit of a weak step back. Now, as I mentioned, we had a writing challenge as proposed by Coldust and endorsed by me for
It was
people
proposed
to.
by me? I don't remember this.
I th-
I mean, I was wholeheartedly behind it when someone threw out the idea, but it wasn't me.
Oh no, wait, no, it was Crimson that threw out the idea, and you were behind him. So yeah,
Yeah.
I apologize.
I don't know shit about writing, but
Crimson's inspiration, and a lot of people did get behind it. And of course, the writing challenge 2 weeks ago was ponies hunting monsters. Now, what I was surprised that we actually got quite a few. We got a few different submissions. So unfortunately I wasn't able to get to them last week. So now that's why we're here getting them this week. So first we have the writing challenge, Misfortune, and I do apologize. I'm trying to let's see what. Okay, this must be the third one here. And the creatures writing challenge.
hey.
Yeah, two of them are on. Well, technically only one of them is actually on a website. The other ones I had it download onto my system here. But yeah, one of them is done in a Google Doc, and I believe this is Crimson's that is in the Google Doc here. And now, if I recall last week, Coldust.
Hello, Train.
What? Hang on, I heard my name. I
Yes.
had my headphones off. I'm back.
Train.
If I recall from last week, you wanted to do one of the readings.
I did say so. In hindsight, I should have read ahead. Let's do this. Okay. I need to find the link again.
Not
Crap.
a problem. Just go to the backstage chat. I have gone ahead and thrown the one that is online completely over on Google Docs for you to read. Now, this is the
cool.
writing challenge by Crimson. And
The
we will
writing
have
challenge by Crimson. Okay.
we will have this in the show notes as well. We will see if we can get the other two put online so we can put them in the show notes for your reading pleasure as well.
Okay, I will do my best with this. Keep in mind, I'm terrible at reading aloud, so this is going to be murdered. But let's do this. All right. All was calm in the Carouselville. I'm confused.
Well, Carouselville
Anyway.
might actually be the name.
Okay, all was calm in Carouselville as Applebloom, Scootaloo, and Sweetie Belle went about their preparations for the hunt. The marauding dragons of Ponyvillistan, its great purple rampage has reduced the kingdom of Apple Orchard to ruins. The iron-hoofed empire of Schooladin to rubble, and burned down the peaceful republic of Tree Library to ash, which I'm presuming does not mean it's now an ash tree, but it could be. I don't know. This could stand. This couldn't stand, rather. This couldn't stand with the three hunters, as they knew, and as did the citizens of Carouselville, that the great purple beast was coming to steal the rarity of the kingdom away and destroy what they held dear. And so AB wielding her hammer, Scootaloo using her longsword, and SB using her bow would match and slay the beast in mortal combat to save the kingdom as they finished up to save the kingdom, full stop. As they finished up the preparations, though, a dignified white cat came up to them, offering them food for the journey, and with a flick of their manes and a wave of and a wave, the three were off to the wilderness to hunt this monster. I really should have read this ahead.
I believe in you. Keep going. I believe in you. Believe in the me that believes in you.
I don't. Okay, let's do this. The land was beautiful as they flew over it. It it was every color of the rainbow, and the leaves of the fabric forests flowed majestically in the wind. But everything was quiet, too quiet. Oh my god, I hate that trope. As they touched down at the base camp, AB pulled out the map they had brought along. That sentence flowed. All right, girls. According to the information we have on this beast, or the information we have on this beastie, he's hanging out. She stuck her tongue out. Oh, stuck her tongue out of the side of her mouth as she pointed at a random spot on it. It being presumably the map, I'm guessing.
No, the tongue.
The tongue? She's pointing at her tongue. Excellent. With her tongue. Pointing at her tongue with her tongue. I can read. Here we need to work our way. There, buck the mean out of the Oh wait. Here we need to work our way there. Oh, and buck the mean out of the monster. So they're going to go up to him and buck him hard. Didn't say that, but felt like clarification was in order. Sweetie grabbed the map from Apple Bloom and stared at it intently. To get to where we need to be, super sneaky, we'll have to crawl on our bellies so the monster won't see us. Scootaloo cut in. And then we rush him. We'll take down the monster of the town in no time. The other two stared at Scootaloo for a second. Only a second, though. Just a second. What? She looked around for a second before realizing, oh, I mean the kingdom. The other two nodded as they started low crawling towards their mark. Does that mean their cutie mark? Who knows? I certainly don't. Spike was just standing there waiting. He didn't know what he was waiting for. He just knew he was waiting on the Crusaders. They had said they wanted to play with him, which was something they were trying to do a lot more these days. Now, if only they'd show up. They were supposed to be here 5 minutes ago, and really, while he liked spending time at the boutique, standing in the back room was getting a bit lonely. Or lonesome? Lonely? I'm sure lonely still works. Grammar. I don't get it.
Just read the page. That's all I do.
That's fair.
Lonely some.
He only heard the rustling of fabric at first, but Spike knew it was trouble and was already starting to run across the room when he heard the scream. Them scream. Cutie mark Crusaders, Monster Hunters, yay! Before they had him. Before they and him made a run around the room, scattering fabric, stands, and ponyquins. All over the place. Next time girls warned me we weren't going to be playing, we were going to be playing. I'd like to be ready. Grammar. Words I can't read. Next time girls warn me. Fuck, okay, I give up with that sentence. I'm moving on.
Next time girls warn me. What are we going to be playing? I'd like to be already. What?
I'm confused. It was screeching.
What we're going to be playing. I don't know.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one perplexed. Okay. It was screeching
Next
and
time,
destroying
girls, please
the
warn
fabric.
me what we're going to be playing.
Oh, okay. Next time, warn me what we're going to be playing. I'd like to be ready.
It just feels like there should be a comma there. That's the huge issue.
Yeah, considering it was written up quickly, we can't not fault him on a little grammar problem.
In all fairness, if you've seen any of the scripts that I've done for the Equestrian Flag Stop, I am in no place to criticize at all. My writing is terrible, although I at least know where I'm supposed to pause. But anyways, it was screeching and destroying fabric forest as it ran, and the three nodded and split up as Scootaloo zipped ahead of the purple monstrosity as Applebloom kept chasing it, and Sweetie Belle stopped to fire an arrow at the creature. That sounds painful.
Give it a moment.
Then all at once, Scootaloo and Applebloom were on top of it as they tried to slay the fierce beast, but they were losing, and Sweetie joined the fray as they attempt to wrangle the marauding purple dragon to Ponyvillistan, and in the ruckus of them trying to fell the mighty beast, none of the four had or heard the creak of the door as Rarity of Caraselville came to survey what the hunters had wrought. Girls, whatever are you doing to my poor Spike? Rarity huffed as she looked at the three fillies on top of Spike. Disgusting. Each of them was wearing cardboard armor and helmet with cardboard weaponry. Or weapons. Does not say weaponry. I added the re myself. Aw, come on, Rarity. We were just playing Monster Hunter with him. Rarity looked around the room at all the destruction that lay about her back room and huffed. Girls! I know I said don't play in the lobby of the boutique, but please play outside before you break something. Her horn started glowing as she righted various bits of fabric and stands back to their respective places. Besides Pinky, who said this? It doesn't say at the beginning of it. I'm going to presume it's Rarity, and I'll continue doing the Rarity voice. Besides, Pinky said she was looking for you. Something about three of you and Spike. Something about your friend Snack was done, or whatever that is. The three fillies. I don't know. The three fillies' faces lit up at that, and Spike jumped to his feet He did too. And they all dashed out of the Carousel Boutique, sprinting for Sugar Cube Corner. Shaking her head, Rarity went back to cleaning and spotted the map the three fillies had made of Carousel Boutique, and she had to stifle a giggle as she looked at the fabric forest and they had drawn together. Oh, this looks just adorable. I'll need to get this framed to keep back here. She smiled as she put the last of her fabric back into place and turned around to leave her back room. Well, I murdered that story something horrid.
No.
Okay, I
you
stepped
like
away.
to do
Who let
another
Cole
one?
read?
I did, but it was the only one he could read initially.
Quite possibly. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'm very bad at this, but it does not stop me from trying to do it anyways.
Oh, I don't know. The English voice acting wasn't that hard.
What are you talking about?
I have no idea either.
I don't know.
Oh, please, I don't think it was that bad.
It's just my normal speaking voice. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, yeah, this is mine too now. We just continue doing this throughout the whole entire stream now.
Alright, and hopefully
Yes.
I've acquired enough images to make this interesting as we go on to the
Okay.
next story. So, let us go ahead and go on to the next story. Now,
What is the next story?
this is the Creatures Writing Challenge of Ponies and Monster Hunting. Of course, this is in a WordPad document, at least for me. Now, before I get started, I did do my absolute best to try to make this as good as quality as possible, including hooking up the Blue Yeti, making sure I got a nice little pop filter on it. So
I don't got a pop filter on mine right now, but that's because it's only for home.
yeah. Well, it was just like a $10 filter that I just like shoved over the thing like a little microphone thing. It's not as what I wanted, but it works. All right. Kelsakai, there's technically 4 Monster Hunter games for the 3DS. I'll leave that alone. Okay. It was night, making the woods very dark. The evening showers have just concluded, making the woods damp and the ground slick. This made the woods dark and damp. The Everfree Forest was its name, meaning it was full of terror. This meant the night was dark, damp, and full of terror. The perfect night. Remind me why we're here, complained Lyra Heartstrings, a mint green unicorn mare, as she followed close behind her closest friend, the one with the pink and blue mane and tail, and the coat, which can only be described as a color of eggnog. Though none of that could be seen, as said pink, blue, and eggnog pony wore a black cloak and night vision goggles. We're looking for the great striped needlefang, as I've said many times, said Bonbon. They're not native to this forest, and I want to know more about it and why it's here. Yeah, but Lyra was almost immediately cut off when Bonbon gasped and dashed forward. Lyra rolled her eyes and followed after her friend, albeit with far less urgency. Once she caught up, she found that Bonbon was bent over, scooping up dirt into a small cylinder. Once done, Bonbon whipped around and exclaimed, "Footprints!" right into Lyra's face, while forcing the cylinder into her view. Lyra took on a face of confusion and was about to say something to the eggnog mare, but she had already resumed her tracking. "We're close," said Bonbon, keeping her voice low and her body lower. "I can feel it." The mint green pony sighed as they approached a wall of grass, and Bonbon was looking through it curiously but cautiously. "Bonbon, I know I haven't known about your secret agent gig for long, and I think it's awesome and everything, but this seems a little ridiculous." Once again, Lyra was cut off, but this time it was a sharp shush. Quickly switching the image around. "Wait here," said Bonbon silently, and jumped through the grass wall. There was a sound of grass shuffling, a twig break, and then silence. Long, painful silence. For all of 5 seconds, before there was the sound of a loud roar, wood crackling and splintering, and a panicked Eggnog Pony yelling, "Run!" While said Eggnog Pony leapt through the grass and made a mad dash for the forest entrance. Lyra wasted no time and did the same. Fluttershy, now stirred awake by the sound of roars and screaming, peered out of her cottage window curiously as both ponies and the needle thing came running out of the forest. The beast, once illuminated by the moon's light, sported the body of a large striped feline with long fangs and a spiked tail. Not wanting to leave its home too far, the needlefang opted to swing its spiked tail with a hard swish, sending spines flying in every direction along the radius of the swing. Fluttershy, watching the sight, took on a shocked expression as 2 of the spines came flying towards her. She only had a moment to dive for cover before they came crashing through her window, covering the floor with glass. Once the destruction had ceased, Fluttershy looked inside of her now broken window and littered and rather dangerous floor. With a sigh, she used her wings to fly to the nearby closet and pull out her handy little Easy Vac. She quickly realized this was too big of a mess for the little vacuum. So she put the Easy Vac away, pulled out the Shop Vac and the broom and dustpan, and got to work. The end. And that was Creature Submission.
Okay.
Any
I
thoughts?
like the Easy Vac there.
The Easy Vac was a nice little callback. I gotta admit, I did not see that coming.
Just another day.
Just another day. So yeah, that was from Creature. That was the nice little writing challenge there. Chat room, of course, you guys are already voicing your opinions in the chat, and of course we have the chat room right there on screen for everybody to see, because I had a quick idea of brilliance there while we're reading. So now that we've gotten that one read, let's move on to the final one. Once I can find it. Misfortune. And I forget who created this, and I feel kind of bad now. Hold on, I'm trying really, really fast to find this. Little Pebble 02, which is probably not the actual name that he uses. At least in the chat room. So I do apologize. I'll call you LP for short until I know who you are for certain. And again,
No, I've seen that name go by in the chat. I thought it was someone else, though.
Yeah.
AKA
AKA who?
Sand. You know, Sand 4.
Oh, Sand 4.
Right, Sand's been changing his name around because he was Glass 4 for a while.
Fair enough. Okay, actually,
No,
that makes sense.
Not 4 in this chat. He was Sand 4 in the previous.
Right. Thank you, randomly disappearing voice. All right.
Excuse me for being quiet while you read.
No, I mean, you're kind of going in and
You're
out.
cutting in and out.
So,
Input. Why you gotta be such an asshole?
I'm not being an asshole. I'm just letting you know. Of course, I'm doing it in an asshole-ish way, but...
I think he was saying that his internet's being an ass.
Oh. Right. All right, let's move on to Misfortune. The sound of birds and insects filled the lush, unmarked jungle. Through the thick vegetation, a small clearing exists recently. A camp had been set up by its newest occupants, sent to study the local wildlife. The clearing held the camp that consists of a rather large tent that held the hunter's supplies. Behind the tent were several tree stumps with a brick oven nearby. By the oven, a mare was tending to the fire, keeping it going as a small, steady stream of white smoke floated out of its chimney. Switch image. A loud noise coming from the tent broke the brunette mare's eyes from the flames. Giving a sigh, she set the poker odd to... that is right. Giving a sigh, she set the poker odd to the side and rounded around to the tent opening and went inside. The first sight was the back of a diamond dog, with fur the color of sandstone, as he held one paw over his face, while the other held a walkie-talkie. "Panda, look! It's one thing to having me not go out into the field. It's a whole nother level of stupid to go after a Rathalos with just 2 others." The diamond dog set his paw over his face, had moved it to the monitor on the table he sat at, adjusting a knob on it. The mare now was completely inside the tent, and walked close enough to hear the reply from the walkie-talkie. "You're just overreacting, Ultra. Alien and I are going to kill this thing and drag it back. Besides, you were the one to make the bet, and we took it." "Hey, don't hold me to my word. You knew I was drunk off my tail last night." The diamond dog gave the monitor a light tap as a picture started to form on the screen. "Listen, you maple syrup chugging, beaver pelt wearing, fake baking making nitwit. I could care less if you jump into the snake nest yourself, but Alien and Ultra have nothing to do with this. You're going to get yourselves killed going after the Rathalos. The walkie-talkie held a long buzz before a reply came to it. Yeah, sure, you just don't want to lose the bet. So how about this? How about this? You could take that lance of yours that you spent all morning yesterday polishing and shove it up your tail hole. Anyway, we're almost at the side of the camp. See ya, chump! The Diamond Doll looked at the walkie-talkie before tossing it to the table, turning his full attention to the monitor as the picture became more clear. Daft idiot! The mare rounded around the dog until she was right next to him. Something I missed last night, Lupin. The stunned voice to his side made Lupin leap out of his seat and crashing into a stack of crates along the tent wall. Holy crap! Don't do that! Handel, where did you even come from? Lupin asked, while setting back the few crates that toppled over from his fall. Handel pointed her hoof at the tent flap. From outside. Duh! Anyway, what were you and that friend of yours, Panda, going on about? Lupin retook his seat and went back to messing with the monitor as the picture kept getting clearer. Moron got me drunk last night, and we took a bet that he could hunt a Rathalos. So apparently he took Ultra and Alien with him to go kill it. Aha! Lupin got clapped as the picture was perfectly clear, and it showed the secondary base, with the two Pegasi and Earth Pony in question starting to walk the vine trail up. Handel looked up from the screen to the dog with a confused look. Well, shouldn't you go and help him before they get hurt? And I think I just changed your voice, didn't I? Oh well.
A little bit.
With a groan, the dog looked down at the mare with a toothy grin. It's like what I said to him, I could care less if he gets hurt from doing something stupid. And besides, even if I left for the camp right now, I wouldn't catch him before they start fighting that overgrown, fire-spewing lizard. Back on the screen, the three made it to the small crawl space that led to the den of their targets. Switching up the image. A large nest sat in the middle of the clearing on the ridge side. And in the middle lay the Rathalos, fully asleep. Lupin tapped his chin with a finger. If they're smart, they'll set up bombs. No, right. If they're smart, they'll set up bombs and blow it up. Sadly, this didn't happen. The two viewers watched in confusion as the Earth Pony threw a rock at the sweeping wyvern, waking it up. Oh, Ultra, you damn idiot! Lupin slammed his head on the desk as Handel kept watching as all three got swept in the fire breath of the Rathian before the feed cut out. Lupin! The video died! Lupin lifted his head before starting to panic as he smacked the side of the monitor, trying to see how his friends were faring. Handel reached for the discarded walkie-talkie, trying to see if she could get a reply. It's no use! I'm not getting anything! Lupin! What do we do? Lupin looked at his shield and gun lance propped against the wall. Son of a... I'm going out. Get a platter ready for me. Handel ran out of the tent and started preparing the meal. When she finished, Lupin came out with a full gear of plate armor, with a shield and gun lance on his back. Okay, pass it to me. I'll lead it on the flight. Lupin was cut off as the sound of meows and wood grinding on itself drew both their attentions to the camp entrance. The sound originated from a wagon being pulled by a few of the cat-like creatures called palicos. The palicos dumped the wagon riders and rolled back into the jungle. The two ran over to the two passed-out ponies and were shocked to see who they were. I can't believe that they're okay. Hey, Panda, get up! Lupin gave a smack to the red Pegasus, trying to wake him up. A groan from the Earth Pony made him drop his friend. Hey, Ultra! You there, man? What happened? Where's Alien? The brown Earth Pony let out another groan before opening his eyes. Hey, Lupin, what happened? Ultra propped himself up before holding his head in his hooves, nursing the pain. Panda dragged you and Alien into the jaws of a Rathalos. Now again, where's Alien? And where's my drink? You would think I'd learn not to talk like that.
Never.
and almost like a light bulb going off of Ultra's ear. The light. And almost like a light bulb going off, Ultra's ears perked up. I don't know. Last I remember, that thing hit me. With its tail, sent me flying into a wall. And look, it even broke my glaive. Ultra held one end of his weapon, and the other half was nowhere to be seen. Handel set a hoof on the distraught pony's shoulder. It's okay. We can fix it back at the base. Lupin, you still need to... Well, wrong voice. It's okay. We can get it fixed back at the base. Lupin, you still need to go and look for Ilian. Handel turned away from Ultra and back to Lupin, who was at a stool finishing the meal. Are you serious? Your friends are hurt. One of them is still out there. Handel was fuming at the dog as he walked past. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm going to look for him. Should be back before sundown. And with that, the dog gave a whistle, and as a winged lizard descended from the air, only to get snagged, but it should be get snagged by Lupin's ripline and carried him off. As the flying lizard weaved through the tree canopy, it came to where the secondary camp was established. With a flick of his wrist, the cable tying Lupin to the lizard detached, and he fell onto the bed of vines the camp was set up on. Wasting no time, he ran up the trail of branches and vines following the path his friends took. Switch of image. Coming to the bramble wall, he peered through the crawl hole to see if the den's owner was on the other side there. The den's owner on the other side was there. Don't see it. Probably took off for food. A quick crawl later, Lupin the Third! A quick crawl later, Lupin was standing in the freshly scorched den of the Rathalos. The straw bed was burnt from what happened before, and fresh scratch marks were cut into the stone floor. Okay, now where is Ilian? Lupin started looking through the den for any signs of his friend. He searched for almost 10 minutes before a shining object along the cliffside caught his eye. Lupin walked over to the object only to find it was a dented shield. A shield that belonged to his friend. Here's Ilian's shield, but where did he go? Oh, I got it. Lupin reached for his belt and uncorked a glowing green bottle holding dozen or so glowing bugs. Now free, the bugs swarmed out and coated the shield, taking in its scent before flying off over the cliffside into the jungle below. So he got knocked off the cliff by the Rathalos. A loud roar broke Lupin's train of thought. The roar resounding from above as a figure started to descend to the nest. Oh, better scram! Before being seen, Lupin dove off the cliffside into the jungle below, using his rip line to catch a tree branch to break his fall. Dusting himself off, Lupin saw his bugs flying off on a path following their newly acquired scent. Lupin followed the bugs as they flew through the jungle, taking sharp turns and rounding corners only to stop at a fork in the road, unsure of where to go next. When Lupin approached the swarm, it flittered back into the bottle on his belt. Well, that's great. Where do I go now? Right or left? Almost like the word answered his question for him with a loud... almost like the world answered his question for him. A loud snarl echoed from the direction and the right path followed. That answers that. Image change. Lupin took off down the trail, following the snarls to clear a path with tall grass. Scanning the area, Lupin saw what he wanted to see. An emerald pegasus. Something was off. Ilian! There you are! When the pegasus looked over, he moved one hoof up to wave, only to be thrown by something in the grass. Ilian went flying from the force of the throw and crashed into a boulder, knocking him out cold. Lupin tore his eyes from his unconscious friend and back to the field of grass that was shifting as whatever threw Ilian was coming their way. Lupin pulled a shield and gun lance off his back and took a stance. Come on! I'm right here! Lupin smacked his shield against... Lupin smacked his lance against the shield, making a sound, drawing the creature's attention to him. Moments later, the creature erupted out of the grass. A large green lizard with a decorated throat and mangy fur adorned the back of its neck, and head waddled its way to Lupin, completely ignoring the unconscious Pegasus. It's a great Jagras! Okay then. Lupin sidestepped the charging lizard and started to stab into the side. The great Jagras reared back from the gun lance, piercing its hide, and tried to squish Lupin by rolling onto him. Holding the tower shield, the lizard rolled off of it and only pushed Lupin a few feet back. Before the great Jagras could get its feet back under him, Lupin flicked a trigger on his lance as he drove it deep into the creature's back and ripped it out, leaving a belt of gun shells in the wound that detonated shortly afterwards. The creature flopped around in pain before starting to flee in fear. Lupin sheathed his weapons as the lizard rounded the corner and vanished back into the tall grass. Yeah, that's right, you better run! Ha ha! A groan coming from Alien broke up the Diamond Dog celebration image switch. As he started to come back to, Lupin walked over to check on his friend. Welcome back. How's your net, man? The pony looked at Lupin over, still dazed from the crash. Lupin, that you? Oh, my head. What happened? Alien held his head in his hooves in pain. Panda dragged you and Ultra to fight a Rathalos. And while fighting, you apparently got knocked off the cliffside, dragged away into this field where you ran into a great Jagras. And then I showed up. Lupin explained as he helped Alien back onto his hooves and handed him back his shield. Thanks. Wait, what happened to Panda and Ultra? Lupin started to walk off with Alien shortly behind him. They got rolled back to the camp by local palicos. Now come on, I promise to be back by sundown. The two returned to camp to find Ultra and Panda eating at the stumps, and Handel taking her place by the camp supplies. There you are! You didn't get hurt, did you? Handel rushed over to check on Alien. No, Handel. No, Handel. We're both fine. Alright, guys, let's start packing up. We'll leave for home in the morning. The two eating coughed in their meal. What? Why? Lupin walked into the weapon crate, setting his gun lance and shield on it. Because some stupid almost got you three killed, Ultra. And besides, we need to report back before tomorrow night, since that's when our trial run will be over. And, wait, done? Okay, there should have been there should have been a quotation mark there. Alien walked over and threw his shield into the crate. Fine by me. Besides, it's not like we won't be back when the kinks are worked out. Panda trotted over and deposited his gumbo into the crate. Fine, if we got it. Finally, Ultra put the half of his glaive into the box. And to think, boys, this is just the beginning. Lupin slammed the trunk, holding the group's weapons, as they went onto clearing the camp for their trip back. Whew, wow. Okay, I admit I didn't see that it was 4 pages long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun read.
Fun, yeah.
Very fun.
Very fun, though. Yeah, I gotta give him all the credit. There was a lot of work put into that, and wow. Oh, man. Yeah, I was right to save this for another day. If I tried to read this last week, that would have been... Oh, man, we would have ran way over. And the best part is, we still got one more.
Yep.
So I think we could bring Coldust back for another reading.
Coal dust.
Oh, but
Oh,
I
golly.
read instead of
Did
him.
Did
Oh.
you just ask what I think you asked?
No,
Yes.
actually, it looks like CMC decided he wants to take over instead.
It's
He
3
asked a
pages this
crazy thing. He asked for you to read.
I mean, I could.
It's
If
3
it's a terrible
it's 3
idea.
pages this time. So
It's 3 pages, and
even
yeah.
though it says as far as like the last one's just a paragraph. So
All right, I just need a link.
Okay, I will put, well, it's actually in the content creation, but I will put it in the
Yeah.
backstage chat here as well.
Good luck, CMC. I know you're competent, so you'll do better than I did.
And yes, this is a second entry that was made by Crimson the Wolf, who is really getting eager for this writing. So now we got another reading to write, or writing to read.
I don't think he'll be as eager once he's heard me read.
Probably.
I'm only a weekend. I'm only a weekend narrator, so.
Now, in all honesty, I don't know if this actually has anything to do with the ponies and haunting monsters, or if it actually has something to do with the new weekly challenge for last week with Pony and Candy Hearts. But let's find out. So, CMC, go ahead and take it away whenever you're ready.
Skimming through to try and figure out how many voices I might need.
It looks like the main 6.
Yeah, fun. It was a wonderful morning in Ponyville. Idyllic. Her hay cakes were grand. Twilight looked up from her rich and tasty goodness and smiled at her number one assistant. Thank you for the breakfast, Spike. Spike rubbed his claws on his kiss the cook apron with a smile on his face. You know I love cooking, Twilight. Besides, we both know you would never eat if I didn't cook. Twilight blushed at his teasing and shook her head. Not that bad. I eat after I finish projects. Spike rolled it.
Hello?
Spike rolled eyes.
Breaking up, CMC.
Actually, I'm not sure if he broke up or if he paused.
I broke up because the wording was... Spike rolled eyes.
Okay.
That wording.
Okay, so he did
Spike...
pause. Okay.
Spike rolled eyes and got himself some... Spike rolled his eyes and got himself some of the food he had made. Twilight, if it weren't you gonna meet with some of the girls today? Twilight's head jerked around and her fork clattered to the plate as she looked at the clock. Oh no, I'm almost late! And with a loud pop, she disappeared, leaving a faint smell of lavender behind. Spike just shook his head, muttering to himself that 30 minutes is not almost late, when she was just meeting up with Applejack and Rarity. Twilight popped back into existence outside the Carousel Boutique and knocked on the door. Come in, darling. We were just waiting on you. Twilight opened the door and walked in the storefront. Sorry I'm late, girls. I just wasn't paying attention at the time. Applejack walked out of the back room shaking her head. Sugar Cube, you're not late if you're 30 minutes early. Rarity walked out from the back to stand beside Applejack. Yes, darling, we knew you would do this. You always do. So, Applejack just came over early too. Now though, let's get down to business. We need you to... The sound of a sonic rainbow interrupted Rarity from what she was saying. I swear, Rainbow Dash is doing that more and more these days. She was shaking her head when her entire house shook and her product and pony quins just started falling over. What's happening? They all looked at each other and sprinted outside. Need a cup of water?
Reading is thirsty work.
Oh, yeah.
And now there's a cat in my way.
Just push the cat out of the way.
Over there. The sky looked like it had been ripped open, violent, and energy was pouring out of it in a cacophony of colors and sound. Looking up high in the sky, the three ponies saw a thing fly out of it, trailing fire and smoke as it sped out toward the Everfree Forest. Her two companions. I'm going to everyone else. Meet me. I'm going to get everyone else. Meet me at the edge of the Everfree Forest. And with that, Twilight teleported away, leaving the smell of lavender behind yet again. Alarms blared in her ears. Everything rocked around her. She didn't know what to do other than brace. Everything had just stopped working when that thrice damned high... Everything went dark for her as the ejection chair finally worked. The release for the canopy didn't. Her head cracked into it with enough force to give her a major concussion. The force of her head and chair striking at the canopy popped loose and she started to fall from the sky in her chair, and her plane kept going until it was deep in a forest. Okay.
I did.
Crash and
Yeah, I just skip over that sometimes. So.
its crash and subsequent explosion. I have the words. Drowning out sound for miles around. Everything started coming together again. She wasn't sure where she was, but she had to get up. She had to keep moving. Stop. If she stopped, she would die. She was sure of it. Moving was all she could do right now anyway. Everything had went wrong. She shook her head in confusion. She just had to keep moving. That's matter. Just one foot in front of the other. Thought occurred to her. What's my name? She slowly blinked as a lights and flashed past her vision. Wording. Weird.
Yeah, just
An
as
alarm.
lights flash
Yes.
past her vision.
An alarm. Yes. An alarm was blaring and someone's voice was echoing in her ear. It was asking her what went wrong. And the name. What was the name? The voice had called her. It came to her. She was Lightfly.
Okay.
No idea what just happened there.
Yeah. I might have to actually cut this for now. Unfortunately, this is taking a lot longer than I'm expecting, and plus, it doesn't look like it actually has anything to do with any of the challenges, really. Oddly enough.
Fun to hear anyway.
Yeah.
It does towards the end
Alright.
because it's from the pony's perspective.
I think for the moment
I
we're.
might need a reprieve if we're going on with it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're gonna need a reprieve. We'll continue this next week. Unfortunately, yeah. It looks like the story reading this is the first time we're actually reading submissions of this, so there's gonna be some growing pains, and there is gonna be some time before we can get it well adjusted. Apparently, it would definitely be a really good idea for me to see how long the stories are, so that we can adjust properly, especially if it ends up being 4 pages, which obviously would take time to read.
I can give you rough ideas for how long reading a story may take
Awesome.
by just the words. So
Yeah, we could probably use your
Yeah,
help
with
with
a
that.
word count, you can get a general sense of things. I know that
Alright.
for Winchester Wednesday, we wonky things up a bit so it goes longer.
yeah, but standardly, if you edit it down, it's like 10,000 words. I mean, 1,000 words, about 10 minutes, and stuff like that. So.
Alright, well, for the time being, let's go ahead and move on here. We will get to that story for next week, along with the next week's challenge. And as always, we do got this is the next week's challenge for both drawing and writing. And the challenge will be ponies in cyberspace.
The 90s version of cyberspace before it became a reality.
Yeah, the 80s and 90s still, yeah. We're talking neon lights. We're talking weird lasers, race cars, all sorts of crazy... Tron. Yeah, we're talking Tron. We're talking Far Cry Blood Moon. We are talking just like all of that crazy over-the-top stuff that isn't exactly grounded in reality, but sounds so damn cool.
The Matrix.
The Matrix. So, ponies in cyberspace. And that is our challenge for the week, both in drawing and in writing.
And now,
For the initiative.
indeed, the protest initiative challenge for this week. I didn't write anything down yet. Shit. Okay, on the spot. Let me think of something. I'm feeling Pinkie Pie and paint. Pinkie Pie and paint. Go.
Watching it dry.
All
What are you going to do? I don't know. Draw Pinkie Pie painting a picture. Be drawingception. Maybe you can make Pinkie Pie coated in paint, either by accident or on purpose. Who knows? It's up to you.
Hold on. my brain just imagined Pinkie Pie Bob Ross.
By all means, if anyone wants to do that, go for it.
She does
I
have the
want
hair
to
for
see
it.
it. She does.
All right.
She does. So, anyways, that's the protest initiative challenge for this week. So, have at it. Have a good time, and do it. You can have a good time anyways, but that doesn't matter to me.
Okay,
You
now
post pictures.
unfortunately for the discussion, just looking at the time here and thinking about it, I don't think we're gonna have enough time to do that and the video segment. We were going to be doing Pink Marmalade, as you can see here, which actually inspired the whole idea of ponies in cyberspace. However, it looks like we're going to have to hold this off for another time. So I do apologize if any... Huh?
We have a full theme next week instead of just last week's challenge.
Well, we have that, and next week you already got planned. So we probably won't see Pink Marmalade for at least a couple of weeks. Because next week we will be playing for the celebration of Hearts and Hooves Day, or Halloween, or yeah, it is Halloween because it's scary for single people, or Valentine's
Singles
Day,
Awareness Day,
Singles Awareness Day, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want it to be. We will be celebrating it by playing Twilight Secret Shipfic Folder with everybody that can get into Tabletop Simulator, of course.
Ooh, am I invited? I love shipping.
Of course. In
Yes,
fact,
you are,
you were the reason we
Okay.
came up with the idea.
I am?
Yes, you are.
Weird.
And this time I was right. I am right on this one.
Okay. Actually, you know, I think you are right. Yes. Yes. I'll take credit for it anyways, because I fucking love shipping.
You're going to have more than enough time to ship.